Okay, let us gather our thoughts and explore a truly foundational teaching that speaks to the core of human civilization, a teaching that predates Mount Sinai and extends to all humanity, the 7 universal laws, often known as the Noahide Laws. These principles are understood as a divine moral code given by God to all descendants of Noah, which, after the great flood, means all people on earth. They form a blueprint for a just, compassionate, and harmonious society, a common ground for ethical living for everyone, regardless of their specific faith tradition. Let's delve into each of these 7 pillars. 1. The prohibition of idolatry, avodah zarah. The core principle. This law calls upon humanity to recognize and acknowledge the one indivisible creator of all existence. It prohibits the worship of idols, false gods, or any intermediary as a deity. It's not just about avoiding statues. It's about directing our ultimate loyalty and worship to the singular source of all being and all morality. Details. This means refraining from creating or possessing idols for worship, bowing down to them, offering sacrifices, or engaging in any rituals that ascribe divine power to anything other than the one God. It encourages a direct relationship with the Creator, unfiltered by intermediaries mistaken for God Himself. This fosters an understanding that there is an ultimate truth and a singular moral authority in the universe. 2. The prohibition of blasphemy, Birkat Hashem, the core principle. This law demands respect for the divine. It prohibits cursing, reviling, or using God's name in a profane or disrespectful manner. Details. Words have power. This law teaches us to hold the concept of God and His sacredness in high esteem. It's not just about avoiding specific curse words directed at God, but cultivating an attitude of reverence. If we respect the source of all goodness and morality, it helps us respect the moral laws themselves. This principle underscores the importance of sacred speech and acknowledging the ultimate sanctity. 3. The prohibition of murder, Shifachat Damim. The core principle. This law upholds the sanctity of human life. Every human being is created in the image of God, and therefore, taking an innocent life is a profound offense against both humanity and the Creator. Details. This includes direct murder, hiring an assassin, and potentially even actions that foreseeably lead to an innocent person's death, like creating a hazardous situation with reckless disregard. It emphasizes that life is precious and not ours to take. This law forms the bedrock of any safe and secure society, ensuring that individuals can live without fear of arbitrary violence, self-defense, or actions taken in a just war by legitimate authorities are typically seen as distinct from prohibited murder. 4. The prohibition of theft, gezel. The core principle. This law requires respect for the property and belongings of others. It prohibits taking anything that does not rightfully belong to you through any means, be it outright robbery, embezzlement, fraud, or even withholding a worker's wages. Details. This extends beyond tangible objects. It includes respecting intellectual property, avoiding dishonest business practices, and fulfilling one's financial obligations. Theft undermines trust, destabilizes society, and disrespects the effort and rights of individuals. This law promotes honesty, fairness, and integrity in all our dealings. 5. The prohibition of forbidden sexual relations, Gilui Arayot. The core principle. This law establishes boundaries for sacred human intimacy and promotes the stability of families and society. It prohibits relationships that are considered morally reprehensible and destructive to the social fabric. Details. Traditionally, this includes prohibitions against incest, relations with close family members, adultery, relations with a married person other than one's spouse, homosexual relations, and bestiality. These boundaries are seen as essential for maintaining healthy family structures, protecting the vulnerable, and ensuring that human sexuality is expressed in ways that are constructive and respectful rather than exploitative or degrading. 6. the prohibition of eating a limb from a living animal, ever min hachai. The core principle, this law instills compassion and prohibits gratuitous cruelty towards living creatures. It specifically forbids tearing a limb from an animal while it is still alive and consuming it. Details. While humanity is permitted to consume animals for food, this law draws a clear line against barbaric practices that inflict unnecessary suffering. It cultivates a sensitivity towards God's creation and teaches us to treat animals with a measure of mercy, even when using them for our needs. This is a fundamental expression of empathy and a rejection of wanton cruelty. 7. The commandment to establish courts of justice, dinim. The core principle, this is a positive commandment that underpins all the others. It requires societies to establish a system of laws and courts to ensure justice, enforce the other 6 laws, and maintain social order. Details. This isn't just about punishing wrongdoing. It's about creating a framework for righteousness. This includes appointing judges, setting up fair legal processes, and ensuring that disputes are resolved and crimes are addressed according to established principles of justice. Without a system to uphold these moral laws, they would remain mere ideals. This law makes society responsible for actively pursuing justice and ensuring the other 6 prohibitions are taken seriously and upheld. In conclusion, these 7 universal laws are not merely a list of don'ts. They are a positive vision for humanity. They guide us towards recognizing our Creator, respecting His name, valuing human life, honoring the property of others, upholding the sanctity of relationships, showing compassion to creatures, and actively building societies rooted in justice. They are a timeless, divine framework offered to all people, providing a common ethical language and a path to a more peaceful, just, and God-conscious world. By understanding and striving to live by these principles, all of humanity can contribute to a global society that reflects the divine wisdom and goodness inherent in creation. They are simple enough to be understood by all, yet profound enough to transform our world.